With Ozpin likely returning in Volume 7, we're probably going to get some expansion on the events of The Lost Fable and some explanation as to why Ozpin hid his past from everyone. With that, we might also get an explanation of the powers of the other relics, and maybe a little bit about the vaults that they are contained in. In particular, the vault under Beacon Academy that holds the relic of choice, and why it's a bit more difficult to get into versus the other vaults, as Ozpin stated back in Volume 5, I believe. Now, there are a few options as to why this vault was more difficult to get into. Now, one of which is the cane that Ozpin carries around with him. I personally don't think that that is the second key to Beacon's vault, if you will. As, you know, when Cinder killed Ozpin in front of Beacon's vault, if that was the second key, I feel like there would have been some reaction, or she could have gotten to the relic at that point. It wouldn't really make sense to keep a second key right next to the vault, or the lock that it opens. So I don't think that it's actually the cane, and also the cane was made in an incarnation previous to where Ozpin had all the other relics, so I don't think it's really tied to that. We saw that the cane was made in one of Ozpin's incarnations, and then the following one that went to retrieve the cane, at least chronologically as far as we know, it's the one immediately after. That is when he went, found Jin, and asked where the other relics are. With that being the case, I don't think the cane's necessarily tied to the vault or the relic, although it is still possible, as I think the cane does contain at least some magic. As I found out while researching a little bit for this video, apparently in the Volume 3 commentary it was stated that the cane has the ability to store time in some capacity, or has something to do with that. You know, I feel like this is information that maybe we should know somewhere else or have some other access to it, but I feel like I'm going to have to go through and watch all of the rest of the volumes, listening to all of the commentary to find out all of the little things that we may be missing. But hey, get to rewatch RWBY again and have more of a reason to. So yeah, that's something interesting. But with that, I don't think the cane is actually going to be tied to the relic. Now, another option, which I did make a video on a little over a year ago after the end of Volume 5, is that Glynda Goodwitch is the second key to Beacon's vault. Now, if you want to go rewatch that video from the past, it's not as well made. I feel like I've gotten a little bit better at making videos, and also the lighting in the room has gotten a little bit better, but it still poses an interesting question nonetheless. Glynda Goodwitch has remained at Beacon Academy even after Beacon's fall. She has always been the right-hand person to Ozpin. And since Ozpin has been shown to give bits of his magic to other people, the maidens, Qrow, and Raven, I wouldn't be surprised if Glynda Goodwitch got some of Ozpin's magic as well. That kind of ties her to the vault that the Relic of Choice is contained in. And since Glynda Goodwitch is the guardian of Beacon currently, trying to fend off the Grimm and, you know, move Salem's forces out of there, keep the relic out of Salem's hands, etc., I think that would make sense that Glynda might have some connection to it. Though again, it's that same problem. You're keeping at least the second key, or a key, right next to the lock that it would open. So I don't necessarily know if that's the case, though I still think it's a high possibility. Now, a new option, which I recently thought up, is thanks to a comment made by Qrow33, and I apologize if I mispronounce the name or anything of the such, or anything of the like, but they posed the question, or came up with the idea that, well, since Qrow and Raven both got magic from Ozpin, they both seem to have different views on it. Qrow seems like, or at least has said, that it seemed like a choice. He chose this path. Whereas Raven, it seems like it was forced upon her, or at least that's how Raven views it. So that being the case, Qrow posed the question that what if Ozpin used the Relic of Choice to take that choice away from them, potentially making it so that Qrow and Raven would follow Ozpin, etc. I think that in the case of Qrow, he willingly accepted it, wanted a place in the world, but with Raven, considering she thinks that the choice was forced upon her without her actually making that choice, that is a possibility that Raven was forced to take this power. I don't know if Ozpin would go that far to force extra magic onto someone, but it's certainly possible. Even more so, though, I think that the magic that was put on to Qrow and Raven has a connection to the vault under Beacon Academy, that either one or both of them needs to be there along with the Fall Maiden to open the vault. That seems to make sense to me. That would make Beacon's vault very tricky to open. Not only do you need the Fall Maiden's powers, but you also need at least one or both of the Bronwyn twins. Now, Raven is also the Spring Maiden at the time, so I don't know if that magic got overwritten or just amalgamated with the Spring Maiden powers, but that would make sense. Especially since Qrow seemed like he was the guardian of Amber, like he was following Amber around and making sure that she was safe, as though he was her guardian Qrow, I guess, but had to keep enough of a distance so that his semblance of radiating bad luck would not affect her, hence why he didn't get to her in time to stop her from being fully attacked. At least he did stop her from having the powers fully taken from her, but etc. So I think that's an option, at least for how the Relic of Choice is being kept a little bit better hidden. Because we know that Cinder has seen the vault. She said when she arrived at the vault under Haven Academy that it's much more elaborate than the vault at Beacon. So we know that Cinder knows exactly where this vault is under Beacon Academy. Probably right in front of where Amber was, and she just wasn't able to open it. There is some other key, some other aspect that is needed. Maybe Cinder didn't have the full Fall Maiden's powers at that point. Maybe Pyrrha had a little bit of it and she wasn't able to open the vault. There is something else that is with this vault that is needed to unlock it. Whether it's the Kane, Glynda Goodwitch, or the Bronwyn twins. I'm leaning more towards Glynda or the Bronwyn twins, as it would just make more sense, especially with the Bronwyn twins being scattered around, and likely with the Relic of Choice being the last relic that's going to be obtained, potentially Beacon being the site of the final battle in the RWBY series. We may not actually find out for a while, but it's something that I want to think about going into Volume 7, and if we get an explanation from Ozpin. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are there any other ideas that I may have missed about, you know, what could be the key to Beacon's vault, to the Relic of Choice? Do you guys agree or disagree with my opinions on any of these ideas for what could be the second key? You know, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your ideas and love to see your discussions, so make sure to comment and make sure to subscribe if you like this video and want to see more like it. Looking forward to Volume 7, only a couple more days, so hopefully you guys are excited as I am, and I'll see you guys in the next video.